actually falling. Today, that's pretty much what happened in Russia. A meteor the size of a city bus streaked across the sky over the Ural Mountains. NASA reporting it appeared brighter than the sun, traveling at around 40,000 miles an hour, fast enough that if you were to hitch a ride, it would get you from New York to L.A. in about 4 minutes' time, flat. Early estimates were that it weighed 10 tons. NASA now says it's more like 7,000. It ripped through the air like a blade through fabric, triggering sonic booms and an immense shockwave when it exploded. When it shattered miles above the Earth, we're told it released about 20 times the energy, more powerful than the Hiroshima nuclear bomb in Japan. It was powerful enough to knock down doors and shatter windows all across one city. Officials say more than 1,000 people went for medical treatment. Flying glass blamed for most of those injuries, and one witness saying that when older women in the neighborhood spotted the meteor, they started screaming that the world was ending. And just about everybody seemed a little freaked out.
It was very confusing because the building was shaking a little bit, so initially I thought it was an earthquake, but then I knew I heard this loud bang, so I thought some sort of explosion, either a gas leak or a bomb or once I saw this streak in the sky, I thought it was either a plane crash or a missile, honestly.
Can you blame them, too? The shockwave shattered a wall at a zinc factory 900 miles east of Moscow. One of an estimated 3,000 buildings damaged in one city. At a nearby lake, witnesses say a piece of that space rock punched a 26-foot hole right through the ice in the middle of winter. And how's this for a cosmic coincidence? The meteor came on the same day that a 150-foot asteroid ripped right by the Earth, closer than some of our own communication satellites. If that one had hit a city, that city would be gone tonight. More on that asteroid coming up tonight inside the Fox Report. First, though, to Trace, this thing came out of nowhere, did it not?
It did indeed, Bill, and NASA really couldn't detect it for a couple of reasons. One, it was too small to pick up on radar, and two, it came from the daylight side of Earth, and they say that these types of meteors have to be picked up by telescopes at night. Now, experts say we get basketball-sized meteors flung at the Earth every day, small car-sized meteors every couple of months, but they mostly burn up. This one came through the atmosphere because it was bigger and, as you said, much, much faster, and they say it's a good thing the atmosphere slowed it down and broke it up, because if it hit the Earth directly, it would have been even worse. Listen.
Then we're talking about a much larger situation of devastation, because we're creating possibly a crater, possibly destroying a number of buildings, and having that shockwave then propagate across the ground, something like an earthquake in a sense, but maybe not quite that big, that can cause a lot more surface damage.
We should also point out that NASA really isn't looking for those smaller asteroids and meteors, Bill, because they're looking for the bigger, much more menacing ones out there.
Well, on this case, we haven't seen a story like this in, what, about 100 years?
Yeah, 105 years in Siberia, Russia, back in 1908, in the Tunguska meteor. I mean, that thing really wiped out about 80 million trees over an 800-mile radius. Now, the goal is clearly for NASA and other space agencies to identify these flying rocks and someday try to stop them. But when one does get through, like in 1908 and today, it really is jackpot for science, because unlike Earth rocks, space rocks have no erosion, and they provide a wealth of information. Listen.
These pieces really are sort of like museums of the solar system, if you will. Bound up in their composition are clues about what the early solar system was like. So studying these helps us open a door, look back in time, and possibly gain more information about what the solar system was like very early in its history.
Bottom line here, Bill, is what doesn't kill us apparently makes us stronger.
Remarkable that no one died there. More than 1,000 injuries, but not a single death. Trace Gallagher, thank you, from our West Coast Bureau tonight.